Hey, what's going on, everybody? I've just been recording some videos out here in the woods and stuff, as you guys can see. And I just thought I could do, since it's about a little bit past halfway through the month of April, which is the entire month dedicated to the Owls Readathon. If you've been following like the booktube universe at all, it's definitely a really fun readathon that Book Roast puts out, and I think it's going to be kind of like a yearly event and stuff. Basically where you try to read books based on prompts, kind of loosely based on like wizarding classes you might take at like Hogwarts and stuff, kind of from the Harry Potter universe and stuff. And she definitely puts in a lot of work, and definitely shows, and it's just a really good time kind of doing it, especially if you like interact on Twitter and everything over there. And there's a woodpecker over there. There's this pileated woodpecker I've been kind of creeping on. I don't know, you probably can't see him. He's probably too far away. Let's see if I can sneak up on him without him. Of course, you know, I'm trying to sneak up on him as I'm talking about a video and also trudging through the snow like super loud. Let's see if I can shoot. I won't be able to see him through that. Let's see. You'll hear his wings probably pop up. You might be able to see him. I don't know, I hope so. Shoot, I can't think of a way to get around that. Shoot, way too loud. Oh. Can you see him? Oh, I'm stuck in the muck. Well, this is actually pretty close. About, I don't know, what, 20 feet away? Oh, there he is. He's pretty awesome. Oh, there he goes. Well, anyways, we'll see how that one turned out. I just had a woodpecker distraction in the video, but I don't know. That's kind of the fun thing about doing these literature walks, or literary walks kind of in nature, even though this one, I guess I'm just going to be talking about the owls and stuff. But like I said, it's a really fun readathon put up by Book Roast. She does a great job making kind of interactive, especially with the everything kind of on Twitter and on BookTube, and also the Discord channels and stuff. So definitely encourage you guys to check that out. Even if you missed it this time, definitely just like go ahead and do it, and then get ready for the newts later in the year. It's I don't know, it's just a really good time, and the effort definitely shows with her, like just kind of like the prompts, and she has like this whole booklet for like different wizarding careers and everything along those lines. So if I can just flip open my page, as you can see, we got like all this kind of stuff going on. Let's see, I think we're on, what, April was 21st, I believe. And I've done, I think, 6 prompts so far. So I'm kind of behind, like way behind. But I think I finished 6. But I think I've started another like 2 or 3. So I still think I can at least get to 10. And I'm changing my career to an easier one. Partly because I also changed jobs and careers in real life. So I went from the mine medic to magi zoologist, and that's basically because I don't know if you could hear that call in the GoPro. I gotta get a mic for it so you can hear stuff like that better. But anyways, in real life, I've basically switched from the field of mental health to now working in animal health. So kind of bittersweet, but I'm really excited to get started at my new job and stuff. I mean, I've already started. Already worked there a week and stuff. So the month has kind of been kind of hectic in a way. That's probably why my reading's been a little bit low. I just haven't had like the energy for audiobooks at all. So I think that's kind of why I've fallen behind a little bit. I guess to my standards of what I said at the beginning of the month, as I get like stuck in a bunch of mud there, as you guys can see. Mud season, woo! But basically, let's go through the 6 books I have finished. Let's see. For Ancient Runes is to read a retelling. I did The Sword in the Stone by T.H. White, and I actually really love that one. I just think it's a really quirky, just kind of fun, light-hearted retelling. Well, he has the whole Once and Future King cycle, which is like 4 books, plus he has the Book of Merlin or something to kind of tacked on at the end. I think that was published like posthumously or something. But anyways, Sword in the Stone deals with sort of the upbringing of Arthur at King Ector's keep, and kind of the tutelage of Merlin and his like relationship with Sir Kay and stuff. I just thought it was really lighthearted, just kind of a really good time reading it, to be honest. And I'm excited to finish the Once and Future King cycle. Yeah, so there's that one. I don't want to like freaking do a whole like wrap up for everything. See, Arithmancy was to read a book with more than one author, and I finished Life in a Medieval Village by Joseph and Francis Gies, which are a husband and wife team that do a lot of medieval history. I didn't enjoy this one as much as Life in a Medieval City. I think it was largely due to the structure. It's still really good. I learned a ton about basically, especially medieval, high medieval, like kind of English peasant life, or not, maybe not necessarily peasant, but village life. I just thought the Life in Medieval City was a little bit better, and I think that's because it did a lot of sort of topical stuff in the Life in a Medieval City. Like you literally had chapter, like my favorite 2 chapters was Big Business and Small Business, which dealt with basically tons of different professions. You know, like big business being sort of like the bankers and kind of guildmaster type things, and then small business being basically, you know, the leather workers and the, you know, the journeyman blacksmiths and this and that, and how they actually go about kind of their day-to-day life. Whereas a lot of the Life in a Medieval Village, the stratification is a little bit different, obviously in a village compared to a city, so it didn't have as much of a chance to sort of diversify as much, I guess, if that makes any sense. It's still, like I said, it was still really good, just not quite, just like missing like a little thing. And that's kind of more the subject matter anyways. Let's see. Why am I having a hard time? Alright, Care Magical Creatures. To read a book with a land animal on the cover. And actually I listened to an audiobook, one of the only audiobooks I've listened to so far. Radioactive Evolution by Richard Hummel. And normally I don't, this was actually sent by the publisher, and usually I don't accept fantasy reviews, but they said, we can give you an audiobook for me. And I was like, well, that kind of changed my mind right there. I'll definitely be doing a review of that soon. Still gonna be like an honest and unbiased review and everything. But there, if you look closely, there's like a rat like on the side of the cover somewhere. So like, you know, that's the land animal I'm going with, because I didn't have too many land animals except for like my life science books. And I just, for whatever reason, I didn't want to read a life science book. I think I had another one somewhere. Oh, that was weird. Let's see, the next one is to, what is it? Defense Against the Dark Arts, which is Reducto, and read a book that starts with the letter R. So I jump over that tree and, you know, sink in the snow and stuff. And I went with Ruthless River, and this was by Holly Fitzgerald, and this was like a savage tale. Basically, these honeymooners, after a series of unfortunate events, basically, they get stuck on a raft in the middle of the Amazon, like a tributary of the Amazon, except they're not even floating. They're like in like this weird, where like it floods, it's kind of like a swamp and the water's all still. And they basically get trapped in there, and they can't find land, and they can't move, and they don't have enough energy to get going, and it's just a complete just disaster, basically. And they're stranded out there for like a month. So I'm just gonna leave it at that, and it's sort of just, like I said, sort of just a memoir retelling of that just like terrifying incident in like the early 70s that they went through. Dun, 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 dun. Yes. History of Magic, work published at least 10 years ago. And this was the other sort, I guess it's not really an audiobook. I mean, it's a lecture from the Great Courses, but I finished The Ethics of Aristotle, which is a 12-lecture series on the Nicomachean Ethics by Aristotle, which deals all with, if you guys have studied philosophy at all, like in college or anything, Aristotle deals a lot with the concept of what has become virtue ethics, and it's kind of a school of ethical thought that I've ascribed to kind of like personally. And I don't know, it was just kind of, some of the parts were really enjoyable, and kind of learning kind of like new nuances to certain concepts and stuff. But actually a lot of the book, or a lot of the course, you could just like read the Nicomachean Ethics and you'd probably be okay. I don't know, I just felt like he was kind of being a little too, not, what's the word, not basic, I don't know, just kind of elementary or fundamental, if that makes sense. And that might just be me, because I've already studied kind of the Aristotle's ethics and stuff a little bit in school and everything, so and just kind of like reading other books, so that's probably more on me than on him or the professor. So I'll just leave it at that. And then the last one was Words of Radiance by Brandon Sanderson. Actually, I go, it was better than Way of Kings, so that's definitely a good thing. It's just, I don't think they need to be all over 1,000 pages. Like, it's just like, cut it down to like 600 or 700 or 800 at least jump-ins. Like 1,100 pages is crazy. I definitely think it was a vast improvement over, yeah, Way of Kings. I have done a long 40-minute discussion panel with my friend Tim on that book, so definitely be looking forward to that at some time in the future. So yeah, those are the 6 books I've read. I've also started Neil Gaiman's Stardust for astronomy, which has to have the word star in the title as the prompt. So I thought, I like Neil Gaiman. It's like one of the only books I could find with a star in the prompt. I even looked on Goodreads, like all my other books. I have one book called The Name of the Stars by Pete Fromm, but I've already read it, so I didn't feel like rereading it. What's another, as I'm like, you know, standing here like in a freaking lake here. I know, lake, it's just like a bunch of water. But what I started, yeah, I changed from Worst Jobs in History, which was originally going to be my book with a red on the cover, to The Romans and Their Gods, basically, because it's shorter. It's only like 100 pages, but that's like it's kind of like a old academic work from like the 70s, I want to say, just dealing kind of like Roman religion in general. I think I've read about a quarter of the book, something like that. Definitely am enjoying it, because it's not like a book on mythology. It's a book on, like, you know, how the Romans actually went about practicing stuff, like practicing their religion in like kind of a day-to-day thing, where I don't know why I said thing, and a day-to-day, in, you know, their day-to-day practice of their religion, rather than sort of just retellings of sort of the mythological stuff, which I've read quite a few stuff like that. So I kind of wanted, because especially Roman religion is kind of weird, because it's all about orthopraxy instead of orthodoxy. I know orthodoxy means like believing the right stuff, whereas orthopraxy is basically doing the right stuff, if that makes sense. So like that's why you could have basically agnostic or atheistic kind of like pontifices in the Roman state, but they could still be good priests basically for the Roman religion, because they do it the right way. It's all about, you know, taking the right number of steps and zigging when you're supposed to zig and zagging when you're supposed to zag. So it's kind of an interesting sort of concept going on. And I think that, I did start Herbology, which is Plant on the Cover, which is a NetGalley book, Plant Lore and Legend, but I've only read like the first couple of plants. She basically just has a plant and then kind of a little bit of the etymology and kind of folk history on that plant. But I've only read like 3 or 4, and they're only like 2 or 3 pages each, so I really haven't read enough of that book to have much of an opinion on it. But that leaves, let's see, how many books does that leave? Quite a few that I haven't started. Let's see, that leaves 10 Caesars. Oh dear. 10 Caesars for an adult work, which would be pretty much everything in my library. Oh, the Book of Mistakes. That's one more book. I'm almost done. I got like 20 pages left. And it's actually a really interesting book for me, because it's like a self-help book. But I'm going to do a review of it later. But it's weird. Okay, so rundown. There's an ancient manuscript. It's a self-help work, but it's told as like a giant allegory. I know, it's like a fictional work, but at the end of each chapter there's sort of this weird self-help section. I don't know, maybe there's more, that's more common than I give it credit for, but, or like type of self-help book that I give credit for, but I've never really read them. So I think it's like one of the weirdest books, not really in a bad way, just one of the strangest books like I've ever read. So like I said, it goes back and forth from like the past to the present, with two like different character POVs, but it's a self-help book. It's pretty odd, but I think I would enjoy this kind of self-help book more than like just a regular self-help book, I guess. But look at this, look at all the grass on the yard. Woohoo! We actually have, oh, that's like the garden plot. I know it kind of looks like mud right now, but you know, it'll be coming someday. So yeah, I'm not exactly sure what I'm gonna call this video. I guess it was just sort of an Owls Readathon update vlog-ish type thing. I've seen some other people do like kind of Readathon vlogs or Owls vlogs. So I figured, you know, I'm already filming a video, might as well do one as well. So yeah, it was just kind of just a fun little idea. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Tell me how your readathon is going, if you are also participating in the Owls Readathon, and even if you're not, just how is your reading month of April going so far? Leave some comments down below. I'd be glad to talk to you about those. And always remember, definitely for the rest of the month, keep on reading victoriously.